Hello, everyone. So I'm starting the stream a little early. I want to kind of get some things organized. We're going to do a scrapbook page tonight. So I want to make sure I have everything I need and together. And I want to make sure I go through all of the products in the bundle tonight, and also if you are going to play along tonight, that you can grab all your supplies. So we'll just let everyone get in. I'd love it if you say hello. I was able to get this to stream on my channel tonight as well as Bridget Monroe's channel, and I'm so glad it worked because sometimes it doesn't, but we were doing a scrapbook page, so I wanted to make sure we got it. Hi, Glenda. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Hi, Karen. So I had a really nice quiet weekend. It pretty much was raining and cold. The sun really didn't come out till today for a little bit. Like, it's just out a little bit right now as it's going down, right? And but it's still cold. Like, it's cold outside. So I scrapbooked a lot. Hi, Jamie. How are you? Hello, hello. Okay, so tonight we are going to make a scrapbook page. We have a bundle, which I'm going to go through all the parts of the bundle. And then I'm also going to go through some extra products from Bridget Monroe that I'm going to be using, as well as a little bit we're going to pull from our stash, because we're going to make a 12 by 12 scrapbook layout tonight. And generally, if you are going to use Bridget Monroe products to make a 12 by 12 scrapbook page, you're going to need a little bit of product from your stash. So let's start with what we have in our bundle tonight. So we have my very favorite Raven Detail ink. We have 2 Chroma Mists, Bark and Wheat. These are my favorite, like, neutral, fun colors. They're fabulous and super usable. We have mixed media tags. I have used these tags multiple times. I've used them for lives in the fall. We made a whole mini album using these tags. We're going to use just 2 tonight. We're going to use the Storyteller stencil and the Celebrate You stamp set. And we're going to use the Winnie the Pooh washi sheets. Some more products we're going to be using tonight is the Honey Acres 6x6 paper collection and some Not Your Mama's cardstock. Just a little bit. If you purchase the bundle, so in the description box below, you will find a link to tonight's bundle of products. And if you purchase the bundle, you will get a free gift. You're going to get a free package of Raven cardstock, which I'm also going to use tonight. So lots and lots of goodies and fun in this collection, in this bundle tonight. From your stash. Super simple. You just need a sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock that you like. Something nice and heavy that can take good mediums. I'm using a 12 by 12 hot press watercolor paper because it is nice and smooth, but it's also very thick, and it will take our mixed media things. Also from my stash, I've pulled out some sequins and some twine because I don't like naked holes in my tags. And I also grabbed my Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink. And we are going to be scrapbooking a heritage photo this evening. So we're going to be scrapbooking this picture. It is a picture of my aunt. She gave me all of her baby pictures to digitize and print and scrapbook. And over the course of going through all these pictures and digitizing them, I have found lots of stories that don't really relate to my aunt, but are I'm loving some of the pictures and some of the stories I found. So this is the scrapbook page, the photo we're going to scrapbook tonight. We're going to start with our Chroma Mist. when you're making a scrapbook layout, you need to start with whatever your wettest medium is, because those things are going to need some dry time, right? Okay. So Karen says it felt like 100 where she was. Oh dear. So I am just giving these a good mix. This is how I mix my chroma mist. You don't want to shake it. That just gives you air bubbles in the little tube. We don't want air bubbles in the tube. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this as incorporated. And I have bark, and I'm going to start with the wheat. Hello, Amanda. I'm so happy you're here because you were the one so excited I was doing a scrap page. Okay. So what I'm going to do, if you haven't, be sure to go over into Brutus Monroe's Facebook group and grab the sketch, because we're going to follow that sketch for today's splatter from the bottom left, the top right, and I'm going to splatter a lot, because a lot of this most of it actually is going to get covered. So you want to be very, very liberal. When you splatter on a card, you just want a little bit, because usually you're doing it and you know exactly where it's going to be seen. Scrapbook page is a little different because we kind of start with that splatter and then we're going to cover most of it. Yay, Candy's here. She's here and she's ready. She's making a scrapbook page. That's awesome. You guys can just work right along with me. You know, I was really hoping, since we were starting at 6, that I would have like better live this morning today. It's not looking like it matters. And I had planned it. I was like, I stream at 6 o'clock and I am crisp and clear and there's no issues. That's it. I'm changing it. I'm streaming at 6 o'clock. But it doesn't look like it's any better than 8. So this is the bark. So I do light and then dark splatter, because dark can go on top of light and you don't have a whole lot of change in how it looks. But if you put light on top of dark, sometimes you get some funk. So there's our splatter. I know it looks like a lot, and it absolutely has to look like a lot. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to set this aside to dry. The next thing we're going to work with are our tags. So I'm going to take 2 tags out. Hi, Penny. So happy to have you join me tonight. We're going to make a scrapbook page. I don't know if Penny scrapbooks or not. I think she might. So we're going to take 2 of these tags. And we're going to get out our little Misty. And we're going to grab our stamp set. So this stamp set is going to make lots of appearances on tonight's layout. So the only thing, let me show you the stamp set so you can see all the color things. The only stamp I'm going to ask you not to use for your tag is this one. We're going to use this larger floral one somewhere else on the layout. But if you want to use the butterfly, if you want to use the branch, if you want to use the dragonfly, or these butterflies, whatever you want to use, that's fine. I'm actually going to go ahead and do one of these tags with the butterflies, with the big butterfly. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the second tag with this large branch piece and these 2 tiny butterflies. So if that helps. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Everyone always asks me, why do you rub stamps on your arm before you stamp with them. If you are using a brand new stamp, that stamp is going to come with oils from manufacturing onto it. And there are 100 ways you can get that oil off. You can get it off with a pencil eraser. You can get it off with a rag. You can get it off with whatever. But years and years ago, I saw a scrapbooker who's on YouTube. Her name is Jen Scout. And she was like, why mess with all this extra stuff? Just rub it on your arm. And I was like, yes, girl, that's it. So I don't mess with anything else. I just rub it on my arm. Okay, so I'm going to use the black detail ink, and basically I am just going to stamp as many butterflies as I possibly can on this tag. Something to remember when you are scrapbooking is that the main focus of a scrapbook layout is your photograph, your journaling, your title, those kinds of things, right? So anything else that you add, for example, these tags or anything, most of those things are going to fade into the background, which means they don't have to be perfect. So I am not stamping this perfectly by any means. In fact, my vintage loving heart would prefer that these stamps be a little bit they look a little bit weathered or worn. So I'm only going to stamp this once. I'm going to stamp all over this tag, but I am not going to insist on crisp, clean images. I don't want crisp, clean images. I just want some interest on my tag. If you take a peek at the sketch, you'll notice that these tags are going to go behind my photo. So again, you're not going to see much of them. They're going to fade into the background and become a layer. So we don't need them to be perfect. We just need them to have some interest. Oh, oh, yeah, Penny, she did. She had me so confused, like so confused. Finally, I texted her back and I said, what? I'm so confused. Why are you sending me this? Oh, well. So we're just going to go ahead and you can see just filling up that tag with these butterfly images. I don't want the butterflies to overlap, but I do want the tag filled in. And another thing I really want is I want some of these butterflies to kind of go off the edge. That is a really good kind of trick with something like this. If you ever look at large pattern papers, you'll notice a lot of them, they'll either be bordered or everything will kind of just fly off the edge and you'll have little bits. I love those kinds of papers. And I find that those kinds of patterns that seem to kind of come off are really good. Okay, so this looks good to me. So we'll go ahead, clean everything up, and then we can go on to the next one. And that's good because cleaning, first of all, it's good for your stamp, right? It's good for your stamp. It's good for your all that. But it's also going to give that ink time to dry. And we are going to work with that tag a little more. It's not completely finished yet. So do a little cleanup. Oh dear. If you can hear the banging, that boom. Apparently we have fireworks going off at 6:30 in the evening when the sun is still out, shining and bright. And now you know why Brutus Monroe stamp cleaner is called a squeaky clean. Okay. So here's our second tag. And for this tag, I'm going to go ahead and use this larger one. It's like a little bough branch. So this one I'm going to be a little bit different with. I'm going to put the branch and have it come off the edge. And then I'm going to take these little tiny butterflies, and I'm actually going to go ahead and stamp them more than once. So I'm going to stamp them twice, but then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to stamp them a couple more times. And then down here is where we are going to put our title. We're going to use one of these sentiments for our title. We're going to use this one that says, "You are the perfect reason to celebrate." So on this particular stamp set, there is, "Hello, you make the sunshine brighter. You are so kind, and celebrate the little things, for they are the big things." And then this one that says, "You are the perfect reason to celebrate." I think "You are the perfect reason to celebrate. You make the sunshine brighter, and celebrate the little things, for they are big things." Those three stamps will also make amazing scrapbook page titles. Use them tonight. You're going to have to go get the dog, Morgan. So many shenanigans. Hey guys, unfortunately, this is my life in my house. So if only I had like a dedicated studio somewhere else that I could leave and go live, that would be great. But no. Okay. I'm gonna do this twice. I do want to, because this is my title and I have these pieces here, I want to make sure that I do want, whereas this one up here, we kind of went with the grungy look, getting a good crisp clean impression, because you're going to see more of this tag on the layout than you're going to see of the other tag on the layout. There we go. So we'll let that set aside and clean everything up. So now we have our two tags and our title. Is work on. So you have your candy in the lower left corner, like cute flowers. That can be interpreted how right over our stamping. We can set these two pieces aside. But leave your ink out. So the stencil comes as this part or this part. We're going to use this part. Yeah. I'm going to use Mom's cardstock. You can use whatever cardstock makes you happy. It's not doesn't have to be this one. It's just it could be. I'm just going for a. Hi Shirley, how are you? Hold on. You said around the edges. And then I said, leave your ink out, don't because we're going to ink with this. Okay. Give me a second. This. Okay. So we're going to positive particle. We're going to turn it over. I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock. And we're going to make it so that turn the stencil over, put it in the corner. And we're going to use the stencil old school and trace it. You were always me a minute. Have something else like this. And then now that this does not have to be you want to get close to your line, but you don't want to just take your time. Question about inking? Okay. You have time. Everybody's I'm not sure. Hmm. Possibly. Gremlins. YouTube live. Six. That maybe, just maybe, my internet wouldn't do this. I have the best internet in my area, and I pay way too much for it to have it not be working. Let me just say that. The good news is I'm really just fussy cutting. That's all you're missing. And I will make sure we get to the next, that we have, that everyone can see me before I get to the next part. So. Okay, how are we doing now? Because now it looks like I'm good. Okay, looks like we're good. Yay! Yay, yay, I'm back. It's all good. Okay, so basically all I did was fussy cut this little silhouette guy. He's so cute. And now we're going to flip him over, because remember, we want this side of him on the layout. And now I'm going to grab my vintage photo distress oxide ink. Yay, thank you. Well, I think Penny helped. Penny worked some magic in the background. I worked some magic here. And we got it. Okay. So here's the part we traced with our pencil, right? Part we traced with our pencil, flipped it over, and I'm basically just going to ink this whole little piece. So I have something that looks like this. And now we're going to set that aside. And you'll see why we needed to do that in just a second. I think we scared them away. I think we scared the gremlins away. I do. Be gone with you, gremlins. All right. Wipe up this again. And now this is dry. Look how gorgeous this looks. Totally dry and beautiful. All right. So next thing we are going to do is we're going to take this part, the positive part of the stencil. We're going to line it up right here on the corner of our layout. I'm going to take this piece. Now, I don't want to catch these little pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to work this way. And I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to catch just the edge. Basically, just the pieces that we traced and cut. Okay? And now, it's time for that big, big stamp. Okay. Candy said, and we inked up the tags on the edges a bit, right? Yes, that's exactly what we did. So we inked up the tags on the edges since we had a little technology glitch here. I'll go back and review what we've done so far. So we stamped the tags, we inked them just around the edges, set those aside. We've used both parts of the stencil. So we used this part, we traced it upside down and then fussy cut it. We used this part, placed it right here in the corner and just caught the edge. So we have just that little bit of an outline. And the only reason we did this part is for placement. And then now we're going to go ahead and take that large floral piece from the stamp set. And I'm going to put this on a block. And if I have a block big enough, I do not, which means we have to do this with the ginormous Misty. This is my favorite scrapbooking tool. I can't say favorite enough. And yes, I used my Misty upside down and sideways and backwards because I'm left-handed. No one makes products for left-handers, except sometimes Tim Holtz does. Because I do have a lefty. What's that thing called? Mix me a map. Okay, so we have our little piece here. We know that that's where this guy's going. He's going right here, right down in this corner. And I want these beautiful flowers to be coming up behind his little self. So I'm going to line him up. And so we're going to go ahead and stamp him. Hi, Irma. Oh, Amanda, I'm about to rock your world. Yes, they make a gigantic 12 by 12 Misty. It's called a memory Misty. And it is the coolest thing ever. I got mine just for, in case you're like a tool person, you want to know how long things last. I got mine in 2018 and it is used like heavily. Look how cool that looks. Oh no, I'm not frozen. See what we're gonna do there? So cute. So then we're going to take a large piece again. And we're going to wiggle it in next to the other one. So we're going to be able to stamp this twice. Get them in there. We're okay. Yep. It's called a memory, Misty Manda. And we'll tell you now before you have sticker shock, they're not cheap. They're cheaper than a I use this more than I use any of those. So that's just my take on it. Okay. Irma asked, what are you making today? I'm making a 12 by 12 scrapbook page, Irma. We have a lovely bundle on the website. If you purchase the bundle, you'll be able, and you have a 12 by 12 sheet of scrapbook paper. You can follow along and make a scrapbook page with me. And if you purchase the bundle tonight, you get a free package of Black Raven cardstock, which we are going to be using here in just a second. All right. So now I'm going to take my ink blending tool. I'm not going to put any ink on it. I'm going to just take the ink blending tool. I'm going to start down here, and I'm just ever so lightly going to make a very light halo around our cute little boy. Just like that. And then we're going to take the piece that we traced and fussy cut. You could also, if you like a little bit of dimension, you could put foam tape on the back of him and pop him up. And I'm going to line him up here. Just on the edge. And even if you are a card maker, you can do exactly this little piece here on a card front. So we have our little boy, and he has a little shadow, and then he has all of those beautiful florals behind him. Hi, Sean. We are making a scrapbook page tonight. 12 by 12 scrapbook page. So if you grabbed the sketch for tonight, you know this is that floral bit that's in the bottom left, right? Now over here, there's those two stripes, and that's where we have the tags and the photographs and those kinds of things. Those two stripes are going to be 2 strips of washi tape. So I'm obsessed with Brutus Monroe washi sheets. So I have 2 packs of the washi sheets. There's a 1 pack in the bundle tonight. But I tend to buy them in sets of 2. I usually buy 2 packs because I really use them a lot. So our page for tonight is it's a heritage layout. So I want to stick some of these patterns that are in here. I can show you close up. They're like different kind of mod styles, but I want to stick to these 2 at the end. So those are the 2 we're going to use. I'm going to do, they also line up perfectly, which makes me so happy. So we'll have a seam here, but it will get covered right up. And the seam won't even be that bad because this will line up perfectly. So there's one. Thanks, Irma. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and if you get the bottom lined up, the rest of it will go lovely. So it's always that bottom. And then for the seam, you just have to line the pattern up. But we're actually going to end up covering the seam on this particular layout completely. Okay, so there's the 2 strips. And then we have our 2 tags. And we want this one to be a little bit over this way. This one can come and be pretty much, this one we want to be over a little bit because remember, that's our title. And then we have our photograph right here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to move these tags around a little bit. Basically, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put those 2 tags behind our photo and we're going to add 2 mats around the photo to kind of bring it up so it becomes the center, the focal point of our project tonight. So we're going to start with our Winnie the Pooh. And then we're gonna mat our photo twice. We're gonna mat it once in a pattern paper, and then we're gonna mat it once with our Raven cardstock. And if the gremlins come back and you miss anything, just when it goes ahead and writes itself, let me know and I will come back and I will go back over anything we need. Right now, I just want a pattern paper and I'm looking for, as adorable as this photo would be with all the Winnie the Pooh, we kind of moved away from the to more of a vintage look, right? So I am looking for patterns like this, these kind of more distressed patterns that are part of this collection. I think we're going to go with this one. It's going to be this one or this one. But this one, I think, is my favorite pattern. And I keep using it over and over and over again. And I'm going to run out. And that's not good. Although I did buy two. But no, I think we're going to go with the, yeah, I like that. So we're going to go ahead and do that with our photograph. If you're just joining us, the photograph I'm using tonight is a heritage photo. It is a photograph of my aunt from the 1950s. If you like scrapbook layouts with heritage photos, you'll find a whole playlist on my channel with older heritage photos. I'm very much, I love my genealogy adventures thus far. So that is a light background. And you see, it's not much. It's just a little bit of a mess. See? And then we're going to do, yes, they're sending off fireworks. We discussed this. For whatever reason, my neighbors have decided that even when the sun is shining and it's not down. Shh, quiet. No. Even though the sun is shining, I don't know why we want to set off fireworks. It's early. I don't even know what they're looking at. Enough. Logan, you might have to take him into the bathroom, please. Let's see if I have enough here. No. You're gonna have to take him to my bedroom. No. You'll just park there. Yeah, you'll have to stay in there with him. Okay. Logan. I don't know about you guys, but I hate fireworks. I hate them. I know. He is protecting me, Natalie. I am like embarrassed and horrified, and I'm so annoyed right now. You have no idea. Because for real, this was like it's late outside. What are they? Why? What are they looking at? You can't even see the fireworks. There's no seeing them. It's just loud booming. So annoying. Okay. Oh. Too far. Take him out. That won't do anything. Yes, it will. You know what it will do? It will stop his barking so that it's not directly in my face. I'm trying to teach a class live. That's what it will do. All right. We are removing the dog. Okay. Just a small moment to talk amongst yourselves while we move the dog. Okay. So we have our patterned paper and then a really tiny back mat. Take him. Thank you. Cooper, go. Cooper, come here. I know he doesn't want to leave me. Come on, Coop. There you go. Okay, now he can protect me from the other room. Oh my gosh. First we have gremlins, now we have all right. We have our small. We're gonna go ahead. These pieces back here. And they're so crazy. Fireworks now. And I talk louder than he. Just moving the around. Where I like them. Just moving the tags around until I get where I like. And see what I said about this not really going to be super. It's literally just going to become a mat. So red and put them here. You guys hear those fireworks? They are really, really loud. And just curious if you can all hear it on my live. If it's just something, or if you guys can just hear the dogs barking, because that would be annoying. Oh, man. Ugh, thought I was doing myself a huge favor. I'm like, I'll do my live early. It'll be light outside. There won't be fireworks because they do this every time there's fireworks. This isn't. Okay, so get the photo in place. And then you can see those little tags are just part of the background. Now I'm all flustered. We're okay. There we go. So there's our photograph, our tags, our washi strips, this fun little area over here. We are almost done. And for the 10 people who are sticking with me, you are my favorite people in the whole world. So be sure to say hello. You can tell everyone I am one of Sarah's favorite people, especially when the crazy people start setting off fireworks before the sun goes down. Sigh. So I'm just taking some cord. I hate naked tags. It's just, I don't like them. I want them to have like a binder ring or something in there. I'm going to cut these really short, right? Because we're right here at the end of our page. But I can take my little thing. Oh, Petty says she loves genealogy and she's collecting all the pictures. I love looking at the old pictures. Me too. So when my grandparents died, I inherited all of their photographs, and I have been slowly but surely going ahead and digitizing them all. And then I've been sending them to my family. I got one of those forever accounts where you can have your photograph online, and you've basically like bought the storage. So everything is yours forever. And I've put all the heritage items in there. So I just put a smidgen of glue behind my tags. Now, for a little bit of extra sparkle. And I've just decided I'm probably, or is everybody okay? Or do you want me to glue down? I'm telling you what, I'm not going to glue. I'll glue these down off camera. But I just grabbed some sequins from my stash. I want to just show you how to do this quick. So basically, I'm going to take these sequins and I'm going to sprinkle them, and wherever they fall, except for that one. So I'm basically just sprinkling them just along. And sometimes, there we go, that's good. And then I'm going to come in with the wax edge of my pokey tool. I'll lift each of these sequins up, and I'll go ahead and I will glue them down. I'm going to add a couple to this tag. And what they do, I love to do this with sequins because it's like they're mimicking the splatter, but suddenly all of that beautiful splatter we created is a little more dimensional and just lovely. Okay. So that's going to be it. Amanda says, I too have the family photo stockpile. Any suggestions on how to make the boy's silhouette be a girl? Yes, add a ponytail. Okay, do you want to do that? Let's do that quick. I'll show you how. So for this part, where we traced it with our pencil, first of all, don't forget to turn it upside down and trace it with your pencil. Hold on. But remember that where you're tracing is the back, right? So trace the little boy, right? And then here, just add a ponytail like this. Or however, it could be a little bit thicker, I'm sure. Like it doesn't even look like a ponytail, but you know. Till you're happy with it. And it doesn't matter because then you're going to cut it out, right? And you're going to flip it over. So you're not even going to see where you drew it. You're just going to have the silhouette and it'll look like like a little girl with a ponytail. So I hope that helps. I think that's very, very easy to do. And when you're finished, the little one over here would have a ponytail. Super simple. So I'm going to glue these sequins down off camera. And that'll be the end of tonight's live. How did we do on time? Like, we're finishing early, but I'm going to blame that 100% on the fireworks because that's ridiculous. I'm so glad I could help you, Amanda. And hopefully we will be back to our normal time because going early didn't help didn't give us a clearer picture or better sound or anything. I don't know what I need to do to fix that. Or if there's even anything I can do, really. I feel like there's nothing I can do about it, but we'll be back to our normal time next week and we'll be back to our normal things. But I'm kind of glad I really didn't wait till 8 because even if I could get the scrapbook layout done at 8, there was no way we were getting around the fireworks at 8. Thank you, Candy. If you make a layout to go with the collection tonight, please put it into the Brutus Monroe fan. There you go. Candy got it. If you do the sketch, use the hashtag Make It Monday with Sarah. And also, you can put it into the British Monroe fan group. Bye, everyone. I have to go take care of these dogs now.